Hey, everybody. This is Questions Unravelled with your host, Emily Nicole. I hope you guys have had a great week. We're going to get a quick start off here, give everybody a chance to hop online. That being said, just share this out to everyone, comment, let everybody know what's up, that you're a part of Questions Unravelled and Hard Conversations, our favorite place to be. Oh, man. All right, let's see here. Got a few people hopping on. We're excited on this Saturday. Looking forward to some positivity as well as some uplifting messages about serious change. All right, guys. So if you are unfamiliar with my show, I will leave you with this before we begin. We are not your all-American typical picket fence podcast. By that, I mean, we're going to have some uncomfortable conversations. We're going to talk about life-altering situations that have created and molded people into who they are today. So buckle up. Let's get uncomfortable and let's change some lives. Hey, everybody. It is Emily Nicole, your host of Questions Unravelled on this beautiful Saturday. So we are going to start today out with some pretty interesting topics and hard conversations with our new guest of episode 2, Aleitress Owens. A little bit about Miss Aleitress is that she is a phenomenal business owner. Started out as an amazing single mother. Started out young, graduated from high school with honors, went on to college to defy the odds and graduate with honors as well. She started multiple businesses. I think it was 3 or more. I do know that we've got Women of Glimmer, Young Women of Glimmer, as well as Boss Women Network. So we've got this young woman today that has completely defied the odds and created a beautiful life for herself. And we are going to bring her on, guys. If you want to welcome Miss Aleitress Owens. Hello, hello. We are so excited to have you with Questions Unravelled today. Everyone, hop on. Check out Miss Aleitress. Give us a good like and share. Girl, I am so excited to have you here. When I got connected with you and heard more about your story when we had our phone call, I just knew that you were perfect for not only the beginning of what is going to be Questions Unravelled, but also for what we're about. And that's about instating and inflicting change. So I just kind of want to give you the floor and let you introduce yourself. Let us know a little more about you.
Yes. First of all, again, thank you, Emily, for having me. And when Emily reached out, it was a blessing from the skies of having this opportunity. Like she said, I do multiple things in the community. I am a mother, entrepreneur, just started a second business as well on top of all the other things that I do. And Emily, like, beautiful. And so she kind of covered majority of the things. Like, we're going to really be talking about roadblocks. I had a lot of those in my life, but I never let any of them stop me becoming the person I am today. And all I want you to know is you're going to have people out there going to tell you you're not capable of doing this or that. But what you have to do is keep your head on straight, and you have to believe in yourself. You have to, first of all, stay focused, and you can't give up. Once they see you give up, they won. And you don't want people to win. You should be the winner at whatever you're doing in life.
Absolutely. Growing up, I did have both of my parents in the household. And when my parents got divorced, I got to experience from a child's position what it was like to have a single mother. And I remember going through that and trying to navigate it and watch my mother navigate it and seeing her not only shine, but step into a separate side of herself I'd never seen. And I think there's this part of becoming that a single parent, not just a mother, a single parent does go through. And it's where, like, how are we going to play both roles? I can't pitch and bat. And then you have to learn, well, you better learn to run, sprint, and swing a bat at the same time. So that being said, the one thing that I want to ask you specifically is, what was the moment that you realized you were going to be a single mother, and what did it feel like?
Right. The moment when I realized when me and her father wasn't working out, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go through the same exact thing that my mom, had to go through, but I already knew the tools, so I just had to buckle up and just let her know that I'm here and I'm not going anywhere, even though she just had me fully at the time. And it really truly made her the young lady that she is today. She's really a go-getter, and I'm really proud of her, honestly, because it's not easy doing it all, but you can't give up. Like I always tell you, you just can't give up. Always got to keep pushing through, because roadblocks going to keep coming. Either going to let them stay right there to stop you, or you're just going to keep going.
Absolutely. I love that word, because that's specifically what we wanted to trademark today with was roadblocks. When we start walking into life and trying to not only develop, but truly grow into womanhood, we start to go, society has a lot of roadblocks for us already.
Yes, they do, Emily, and it's really sad because, you have a lot of people, very smart young women and stuff. And soon as they hear certain things from teachers or whoever it may be, sometimes they're able to brush it off and keep going, and some of them not, and people need to start helping them, because I think it should be more things out there for the young women out there, because if soon as they have a baby in high school, they think, oh, it stops there. It does not stop there. I thought it did too, but as long as you pray and you keep the right people surrounding you, that's something I had to learn. I thought everybody was there to support me, but everybody's not there to support you. Some of them is there to tear you down, and you have to remove those type of people out of your life and get a vision board. Oh my God.
Oh, come on.
I love my vision board, Emily, because when I get up every day and see the things I have put on my board for 2021 and things I didn't put on my board and it actually happened, I'm like, okay, all right, this really motivates me to keep going, because sometimes you might forget certain things to put on the vision board, but you can always go back and tweak it, and a lot of people think it doesn't work, but honey, that vision board works, especially when you can start Xing off or put a check mark by it. Like, that's motivation.
Doesn't that feel good to make a plan,
to
have a plan, and then to watch it get slowly executed?
You
know what? It's funny, because I know when we had our phone call, the pre-screening, and kind of talked about your background and everything, one thing that we really agreed on was manifestation.
Yes.
And those roadblocks that you're going to experience within manifesting and creating that vision board and going, this is the life that I want to lead. This is the life I see for myself. I'm going to take it. But there are going to be roadblocks. And one thing that I had said to you was, it's important to manifest what you want, to believe it, to speak it, but also to realize some things we've got to keep private. We've got to move in silence, because just as well as I can manifest and you can manifest for your greatness, there's somebody out there, after you tell them, I'm going to start this business, I'm going to go after what I want, I'm going to chase my dreams, I'm going to go back to school, I don't need anybody but my motivation. On the whole ride home, they're like,
like, she crazy.
I don't want her there. I don't want her to do well. And they are out there manifesting that against you. So were there specific times? I know you said you went to college and you graduated with honors, which is amazing in itself and super inspiring. Tell me about the first business that you started.
So the first one I actually started was my in-home care. It was the first one in 2017. And as I started that, Emily, I realized, like, oh my God, I need somewhere I need to vent. You can't vent to your workers because they're your workers, not your friend, So I was like, okay, I need to create a sisterhood. And I started Women of Glimmer in 2018. And oh my God, it really took a big load off my plate, because I was able to balance work and personal things, and a lot of people think it's not important, but your self-care is very important, but you need to be around the right sisterhood, because you have plenty of sisterhoods out there, but you better make sure you do your background, work on them, because we're real. And the only thing I focus on in my sisterhood is connecting the right women, empowering them in one room. You can't do it by yourself, and celebrating. you have to celebrate each other, whether it's an obstacle that you overcome, whether you accomplish something in work or whatever it may be. You need to really celebrate each other.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. Come on, somebody.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about growth and self-improvement is definitely
Yeah.
supporting and cheering other people on. And I think that's kind of where we fall short as women and men,
Mm-hmm.
is that we not only get jealous, which is human innate nature, but we forget to build one another up.
Mm-hmm.
I know there were plenty of times in my life where I really, really wanted someone to not only tell me good job, but to pat me on the back.
I
And,
understand.
like with your story and overcoming single motherhood and going to college and graduating with honors and starting this company, you are a prime example of pushing past limits and pushing past expectations of other people, because in life there are going to be people that are going to set expectations before you
Oh yeah.
that you don't even have yet. You don't even know where
Right.
you're going. They're expecting
Know you. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's so amazing to me to think about uh, how many women, especially single mothers, don't have the tools that they need. So
Right.
to any single mother that might be watching, because we do know that the rate for that is climbing every day, and
Right.
it's a pandemic how many mothers and fathers are raising in a broken household. And
Right.
the whole message behind Questions Unraveled is to get back to your center, and to also realize that we need to heal our inner child in order to be the adults that we were called to be.
Mhm.
And what would be your advice to a single parent right now that is just feeling down in the dumps and not knowing how to continue?
Emily, I don't know if everybody's a firm believer of a God, but drop down on those knees for one, and you talk to him above and let him know what you're needing in life. And he will give you the guidance and the directions where you need to go, even though that relationship may not work, but that child didn't ask to be here. And it's either you going to step up or the other person going to step up, but they need you right now. They need all the tools in life to let them know that anything that they put their mind to, whether they want to be a doctor, lawyer, teacher, you let them know that they can do that. And you speak life into them each and every day. Not when you want to, each and every day, because when you don't think they're paying attention, honey, they're paying attention, because this things my daughter showed me this year. I'm like, oh my God, she's paying attention with things. She's like, I want to be your assistant. I want to make money too, mom. So you just never know when they're going to shock you. Honestly.
Oh my gosh, I love that. How old is your daughter right now?
She's 10 years old, Emily.
Oh man, girl, that's the fun age. In my opinion, when I talk to parents, when I have questions or someone gives me a call and they're talking about their kiddo, kind of what's going on, I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
first off, how old are they? And most of the time, it's right around that 10 to 12 age where they really start becoming.
Yeah, because she want to start her credit right now, bank account. Like,
she said, "Mom, I want that house. I want that car.
I'm like, okay. Oh, she said she's going to own a house like I own my house and stuff. And I'm like, okay, you can do it. You can do it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, that age is just wild to me. My younger brother actually just turned 12 this year. And that's one of the biggest things that has taught me so much about not only my personal experience with 11 to 12,
Right.
but watching a young man, is that it's that definitive timeline. I think
Mm-hmm.
every age is important, but that's really where you have to spend some serious time with your child and let them know that they can do whatever they want to do and that they can become who they want to be.
Right. So yes, absolutely. And I tell any parent, don't try to have them do the things that you wasn't able to do. Let them think on their own. Let them figure out what they want to do in life. So don't live your life through them.
Absolutely. I think that's a mistake that a lot of parents make, whether it's through sports, school,
Right.
visionary artwork, whatever it is. I think a lot of parents do miss the mark because they say, I did not get to do this.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that my child gets to do this.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that would be the biggest advice for me, would be just to let your child breathe and experience. Now, of course, keep that rope tight, because we want to be able to teach and impact our children. And raise
Yes.
them right. But I do believe that that is the age where they should step into becoming.
Yes.
With Young Women of Glimmer, what specifically made you jump from Women of Glimmer to Young Women of Glimmer? Did that get inspired and invoked
My
by your
daughter,
daughter?
my daughter, she like, you started that in 2018. It is 2019, might be 2020, and you still haven't started nothing for us. And I'm like, okay, well, no problem. I can get it started, you know. And she was so happy. And I created their own Facebook page as well too, to do motivation things on there too for them. They have actually have an event up in June. I
Okay.
pray to have it for them, but it's pretty in purple empowering brunch. So they have to dress in purple, but elegant. So he's trying
Oh,
to
that's
teach them
beautiful.
strategies now of being their own boss and having them, fill out a resume and just give them all the much tools that we possibly can at that event to let them know that you can start now, not when you're 17 and 18 years old. You'd be surprised how many people that's grown don't even know how to fill out a resume. But if you can teach them early, I think it's better.
That is so powerful because not only do I feel like people are learning late in life how to balance checkbooks, have
Right.
resume builders and things like that, have the ability to know how to handle an interview, but to start it
Right.
at such a young age, I think really incites change. I really do.
Yes. Yeah,
Uh, with
absolutely.
with Young Women of Glimmer, where is that event going to be at?
Actually New Mexico. So it's in Albuquerque.
Okay,
June.
and is that
I
for
can
like
tell you
all
exactly
young
what
women?
day, but it's in June, I believe. It's in June. And I did it from age 10 to 17.
All right. All right, anybody. So if y'all want to hop in on that and you're close to New Mexico, you want to take your daughter and help them out, let them learn how to make a resume, reach out to Miss Aleitress on her Facebook.
Yes. Yes, yes.
So I know you had said recently you had just went to a speaking event. What
Yeah.
was that specifically for?
So it was Women's Month last month. So they wanted me to come and speak to motivate women, even though they in a workforce, company, they may want to learn how to be an entrepreneur because a lot of people think it's hard to be an entrepreneur, but you'll be surprised it's really easy. The same strategy that you put into your 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, you can do the same thing, be an entrepreneur. And that's what I taught about on that event, on one of them. Then the second event is teaching you how to have multiple cash flows. Don't just
That's
settle.
important.
Yeah, because you never know. See what happened this last year too. I thank God I kept my multiple cash flows because when one was low, the other one kept flowing. You never know what hiccup or what roadblock may come. You just got to be prepared for it.
Right. Like my dad always used to say, don't keep all your eggs in one basket.
Right? I used to, Emily, but after working for a couple of, offices jobs out here, I'm like, oh no, nah, I got to learn how to do this and do that. A lot of people always tell me, oh, you're doing too much all at once. I said, no, I'm not. It all depends on how you balancing those. You can do more than one thing, but you got to learn how to balance each and everything that you're trying to do.
What gives you the drive specifically to make sure that you can balance that many businesses?
Oh, a calendar. You cannot remember every day. My calendar tell me when I need to post something on my, social media and things like that, because I can't remember it all and I'm not going to try. So have that calendar, even a paper calendar, the one on your phone, at least have two of them, honestly. So making sure it reflects. Because you'd be
Absolutely.
surprised what your phone will not save, and you'll miss a meeting. I missed a couple of. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." I'm like, I know I put it in there, but I'm like, nope. I'm gonna have my paper copy, and I'm gonna have the one in my phone too. So
The calendar is important for sure. um, I know I kind of told you a little bit about Questions Unraveled and the
yes,
meaning behind it and getting to your center. When you're walking through your daily life and you're not only chasing your everyday job, but being a mother, what is that thing that helps you unravel to your center to bring you back home and make sure that you're able to not only grow and step into the next day, but to just be happy?
Emily, I love music. I know the quotes are out there, don't get me wrong, but listen to that right song. I don't know if you ever heard of Fantasia,
Yeah, yeah.
but she had a song out there right now. It was necessary. I know who I am today because my mistakes, and make them for your good. A lot of people think their mistakes are just mistakes, but those mistakes make you who you are today and makes you better and greater and be prepared for other things that might come in your life. And I listen to that song all the time. I tell anybody you need one favorite song that you can listen to each and every day, because things are going to come up. But just when I hear that song, Emily, I just close my eyes. I pull over because I know I can't close my eyes and drive because we're going to hit something. But I close my eyes and I just get in that presence, and it don't even have to be a church song, just find that song for you and you'd be surprised how you can get up each and every day and just keep going. Because being a mom and about to be married, Emily, like that's a lot. So I honestly had to hire a cleaning company. At first I thought it was terrible, Emily, but I'm like, you know what, it's only one of me. And I'm like, I got to clean up every week, and stuff, and daily. I'm like, okay, I need some help. So they come every other week, Emily, and everything. And that took a big load off my plate, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Feel embarrassed to, ask for help. Because you'd be surprised at what you may need help in, even though you may do it. But sometimes you need breaks in between. And that's something I was learning too, that I wasn't getting enough breaks for myself. So now I have in my calendar when I'm going to go get my nails and toes done, my massage is all in there. And I tell people, they like, oh, let's get there. I'm like, I'm sorry, but no, that day is already taken for myself. But I appreciate it though.
That's right. So I heard you just say you're about to get married. So
yes,
man.
Yes, he's an amazing guy. At first, I'm like, I don't need nobody. I can do this by myself. But girl, he know how to say the right things where I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. Like, I never had nobody like that, honestly, because I'm always blah, 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 and blah, 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 this and blah, blah, blah. No, he knows exactly what to say to have me to stop and just take a deep breath. And when he started doing things like that, Emily, I'm like, okay, I think he might be the one. And it happens so quick. And I tell people, like, you just never know when things are going to happen. I was in a 6.5-year relationship, Emily, and when we broke up, like this guy came like literally at the blue, literally. And I'm like, okay, I'm not looking for nobody. I don't need nobody, and stuff. But it all worked out for the greater. And I look forward to spending the rest of my life with them, honestly. That's just a short version. So
that's beautiful. When you think about where you started, like as a single mother, graduating high school, going into college, starting that business, getting to where you are today, and knowing that you have found somebody that you could not only rely on, but come home to and, hold space for you. There's a lot of women right now and men that are lonely. And I think one of the biggest keys is to be comfortable within yourself. Did you experience a time within that single motherhood where you felt broken and you felt like you were alone?
Yeah, absolutely. Because you be thinking, like, since the relationship with, that child's father didn't work, you're going to think like, oh, okay, if that didn't work, none of my relationships is going to work. And you can't compare each and every relationship. Only thing you can do is learn from each and every one of them, and keep going and learn yourself more. Because I didn't know myself too much, Emily, because like I have people like taking videos of me because I didn't know, they're like, you say this, I'm like, no, I don't. And when they show me, it just start teaching me how to do more, be patient, take a deep breath, and listen to people. I always think I have to keep talking. Sometimes just shut up and listen to what that person got to tell you, because they tell you something that you need to hear. And at first I couldn't accept it, Emily. I'm like, no, you can't tell me anything because I got this, but make sure you listen.
It's so funny that you said that, because I'm real. I keep it real. I'm in therapy.
Right.
You know, I'll probably be in therapy till the day I die because I believe
And we all
self-development, right? And self-discovery is what defines us and molds us. And last week we were in therapy, and the therapist is sitting there listening to me talk, and he goes, and I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? For one. Two, you know, come on, give me some reasoning, say something. And he said,
right.
you're a literal bomb. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, everyone says I'm a valid, good communicator. How am I a bomb? And he said, it's not in a negative way. It's like you have to cover all the bases when you talk. So when you're telling someone how you feel, when you're expressing that, you say everything to make sure you cover the bases. And it's so overwhelming because you articulate yourself so well that not only can it come off as too much, but you're not even giving someone a chance to express themselves. So I know that's one thing that I'm definitely working on right now is my communication.
I work on that every day, Emily, because at first I didn't used to talk or express myself. I used to just sit back and just be quiet, just nod in my head and everything. And now, oh no, I tell anybody, if we have a disagreement, we might not can finish at that moment, but we need to come back and finish it. So I know that we're good and we're not at odds and everything. But I used to go to bed like, I don't care what I said or how I said it to them. And like now I take precautions not to hurt their feelings, because my fiance said, you can be mean sometime. And I'm like, what? But I was just protecting myself. They said something to me. I didn't say something to them. And he's like, okay, who's going to be the bigger person here? You know? And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm a little bit alone. And so every day you have to keep working on it. Isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I know one thing I've found, not only stepping into real, genuine relationships, but having a real, genuine relationship with myself, is that once you experience health in comparison to that drought, you're like, what is going on? Something must be wrong. This kindness, genuine, open ability to not only be myself, but to grow within that, it terrifies me. It terrifies me, even to the point where I'm trying to grow my business and cultivate with new people. I kind of side eye them. I'm like, can I trust you? Are you actually, a part of what I'm working towards? And I know that's something that as I grow, I'm definitely going to hope that I outgrow, because I do believe, and I've heard people say this many times, that what happened in the past needs to stay in the past.
Yeah. And that's something I'm today too, Emily, because I've been hurt too many times, been screwed over, and sometimes those walls come up, it's like, whoa, okay, I better not, so it's always going to be there. And before you know it, you'll start letting it down.
Absolutely. And, I heard Les Brown live. I went to an event in Miami, and he was up on stage, and he was doing his thing, holding his microphone. I don't know if you've ever seen him live, but it is a sight to see.
Yes. I actually got to meet him. Amazing man.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. He has just inspired me so much. And he was on stage, and he walks up, and he's telling one of his jokes, cracking them like he does. He just knows how to throw it right in. That man could have been a stand-up comedian, and he looks out at the crowd. And it was right after we had all went up on stage, and it was, I think it was a voice training. And he said, you got to let go or be dragged. He said, I'm going to say it again in his deep voice. He said, let go or be dragged. And I think there are a lot of people out there that are trying to experience an older version of themselves. They keep re-experiencing that pattern and over and over and over and over again. And they're like, what's going on? Why is this happening? And it's like, well, you're being dragged, baby.
Right.
Are you tattered? Are you bruised? Are you exhausted? And they're like, yes, I am. And it's like, well, let's let go, because you're being dragged. And that was something that he said to me that just stuck with me indefinitely. And I'll catch myself saying that to myself sometimes. I'm like, lose a friend, let go or be dragged.
Right.
And
let go
or be dragged.
2020 and 2021 have truly taught me who was there and who wasn't. And it's okay.
Absolutely.
And these are really close to me, but life goes on. At first, I'm like, oh my God, I can't live without him. Child, please, bye. There's other people there that will love on you, praise on you, look up to you, and you can take advice from them. You know, it works both ways. And I was realizing that I'm the only one that's always there for their highs and their lows. But when it was time for my highs and my lows, half the time they didn't know where to be found.
It is so interesting that you just said that, because I know, being raised the way that I was, I'm a fixer. I love to fix everything. It's just
Right.
innate within me. And sometimes I find myself trying to fix things that I have no business fixing. I don't have the tools for it. They're broken.
Right.
And I know that I'm learning every single day that not only do I not have that tool belt, but God will say every once in a while, this is not your battle to fight. That's why you are not winning.
Right.
This is not your battle. Lay the sword down. And is there any time that you've specifically experienced where you're just like, you know what I'm talking about? It's just that deep yearning to fix something, and it's like,
yeah.
I don't understand
me.
why
That's me. I hate drama. I hate drama. So if I see somebody like trying, I'm like, okay, y'all, let's like not go there or and stuff. And my fiance tells me still to this day, he's like, why are you always trying to fix everything? Certain things and not for you to be doing. Certain things I can see, but quit.
Absolutely.
You're not the fixer-upper. You know,
it feels like that though when you're an entrepreneur and you build everything from the ground up. You're like, well, I mean, I fixed that.
Right. Right. I know I do say that too. I'm like, sure, I was entrepreneur. Like, you know, I can fix that. You can't fix this either. Like, they're like, no, that's two different things.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, as I sit and I think about what 2021 has already been and where it's going, what my goals and aspirations are, and I start to think, how do I want to be an entrepreneur? What do I want to do as a young woman? Because, you know, I'm only 22 years old and I definitely don't have the rule book. There ain't a playbook. There's nothing. I'm empty-handed and I'm standing out there and the ball done got thrown and hit me in the face. I don't even know how to catch. And
well, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you accomplished at 22. You know, a lot of people still trying to figure out what they're trying to do, Emily, working at McDonald's or, you know, and stuff. Like, you pretty much a little ahead of me in the game at your age, you know, and be glad that, you know, because you have a child, right?
I actually do not have kids, but my mom has a whole generation behind me. Because
okay, that's why I thought probably your brother was your child because of the pictures. Yeah, because I see a lot of pictures on your profile. I thought that was your child. See,
I love
but
for sure.
Yeah,
they have changed my life so much and brought me so much joy. You know, it was so challenging when my mom moved in with my husband and I when we had first gotten married, and I did not know how we were going to do it. I thought it was going to be the hardest thing that I ever stepped into. And every day I was humbled more and more, not only by grace, but mercy. And to see a child grow within really hard circumstances, because, you know, my mother was a single mother and I watched her go from being healthy to unhealthy. I had to see her laying in a hospital bed. You know, I didn't know if she was going to live. And that was the most terrifying moment for us, because I'll never forget, Grace had just been born. She was about 6 weeks old and we had to take her home, and she was breastfeeding. Mom was still in the hospital and we had all the kids, and we had to go to the grocery store because we were out of diapers, and we're walking through Walmart. I've got this newborn on my hip. I've got all the kids in 2 separate buggies, and my husband's walking down the aisle, and I just start crying. And I'm like, people are judging us. We look crazy. I'm barely, 20 years old, and I look like I've done popped out a whole litter. Like, I'm so afraid of what all these people are thinking, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. And I remember getting the kids home and getting them to bed, and I said, a day at a time. I'm just going to take it a day at a time, because right now, this is my reality. It might change tomorrow. It might change next week, but I don't know that. So I'm going to take the grace with the fall, because there is grace within the fall. And it was one of the hardest things I ever experienced in my life. But I will say that it molded me and changed me to where I don't want them to experience the things that I experienced. I don't want them to miss out on the things that I missed out on, because mom was working all the time, and I did get time with my dad, and they were loving parents, but as parents, we only do the best that we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're human. We're gonna miss the mark. We're not perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and it changed my life, and it changed my perspective. And I think when someone experiences being a parent and feeling that infinite love and holding a child in your arms and going, whew, this is what innocence feels like, and I want to protect. You don't know what that feels like until you feel that innocence in your arms and you're just captivated by it. And I believe that is what drives, single parents.
Yeah. Because I didn't know I was going to be a mother till I found out 4.5 months, Emily. I didn't have that much time left. Wow. Yeah. This is crazy though. Don't judge me, you guys, okay? Because I didn't know I was pregnant yet, okay? And I made cheer captain of the cheerleading squad, literally, Emily. And then I want to say a couple of days later, a week later, something like that. And I found out I was 4.5 months pregnant. I'm like, no, I feel okay. Like, I just ran track. Like, I just played softball, Am I pregnant, And they're like, well, sorry, but you are. But that moment when I held her, I was like, wow, I'm going to do my best. And I think I did pretty good. Because like I said, my mom, I didn't get to really spend that much time with my mom either. Like, she had to really work a lot. She couldn't come to a lot of my games. I see other people's, family in the audience waving and cheering them on. I always wish she was there. She was able to come every now and then, but that, that type of things there, I want to make sure that I'm there for my child as well.
Absolutely. It's the little things that add up. I was just talking to someone about this earlier. What you say and what you do can be monumentous for a child. This most smallest thing. And I think about my childhood, and I think about even simple comments that my parents made. They became like how I stored that. They became the voice for me. And I know walking into adulthood and, being a parent or being a sibling in itself is what are you going to provide them for their self-talk? How are you going to make sure that they have the self-talk that is going to give them a wide open playing field? They don't need bumpers. They don't need things in the way. I want them to see the stars, and I want them to reach for them.
Right. Absolutely.
Being a parent is so powerful. It gives me cold chills.
Like I said, I was scared, but now, like, I feel like everything that happened to me today, it made me who I am today. At first, I'm like, I am not prepared to be a mother. I didn't even want no kids. And you just never know when you're going to have them. Like last year, didn't even know I was pregnant either, Emily. So I went to my yearly checkup. Miss Owens, you're 2.5 months pregnant. I'm like,
funny.
Okay, not again. But he is very smart, intelligent young man. Like, for him to be 7 months, he about to be 8 months on the 6th. Just a lot of things that he copies you, so you cannot say certain things.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that'll humble you too. You get a little angry.
Yeah, I tell him, I'm talking to you, and I'd be so serious with it. I'm like, I'm talking to you, and he, if you really pay attention to him, they very smart, especially now. Like, what is in his formula, doctor? Because he's doing too much.
He's doing the most.
Right?
I was just thinking about, I had this bus driver that like deeply impacted me throughout my childhood. She, every day when I would get on the bus, I would sit in the front seat. I would tell her, like what I had for breakfast, how school was going. And she took just this deep interest in all the children. And she didn't, she shared this with me, and it was about her childhood and things and the trauma that she experienced. And she said, I did not realize I was not healed until I held my child in my arms. She said, I became a mother, and I remember looking at my little girl, and I was holding her, and I was looking down at her. And she said, I just felt this intense emotion consume me. And before I knew it, I was sobbing, because I said, how could someone fail you? How could someone let you down? And it blows me away how many people not only don't know, but don't have the skill sets on how to be a parent, you know, when you
Right.
were a teen mom, did you just kind of watch your mother be a mother, or did you slowly teach yourself how to raise your daughter?
I actually watch my mother and everything, like just the way she did her daily things. I'm like, how in the heck she's doing all this stuff?
Right.
Like, by there's 3 kids. Like, oh, I got 2 jobs. Like, but she never showed that she was tired or want to give up, or there's always that smile. I'm like, I don't know how she get that smile on her face. It's not something I'm like, oh Lord, this is too much, you know. But it was beautiful, honestly. And I just embraced it just by watching her, to be honest. And like she was even proud of me, or still being in high school. I was working full time, still going to school. I was in all the clubs, National Honor Society, FFA, Spanish, you name
Oh,
it.
wow.
Whatever was there, I was there. You know, and I was track, softball, cheerleader. I went back and got my captain spot back. Matter of fact, you guys, after I had my baby. So you can't say you can't do anything, because you can. So
You said I went back and I took what was mine
and
and did
I
a
took it
job.
back. I'm like, thank you.
Thank you for holding my spot.
Right? So you just
No,
never know what you
I think your story just rings true to something that I'd said last week, and that's to the self that is yet to exist. And over here, you know, at Questions Unraveled, as well as Be the Change with Anthony, that's our biggest mission, is to push the self that is yet to exist. You know, what
right.
can you do to provide space for yourself to grow? And I think you are
Mhm.
such a beautiful prime example of that, because you constantly told yourself, no matter how defeated you were, no matter how down you were, you said, to the
Right.
self that is yet to exist, there is space for you. I honor you, and I'm going to embrace you in 10 years. And here you are. Here you are embracing who you said
Mhm.
you were going to be. And I'm
And I'm
empowered by
28 years old, Emily. A lot of people think I'm older than that, but I'm only 28 years old.
Okay.
So
No, I would have thought that though.
yeah, a lot of people always
Like,
think
you're
I'm older,
28
but I'm only 28. Yeah.
because you're
So,
mature.
so thank
That
you.
that life change will do that to you. You get a kid and it's
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
I'm grown, grown.
Yes, I'm grown, girl. Don't come over here with that kitty stuff.
Right. So, to anyone that's on Facebook watching right now or hits that replay later, what's the best way to get into connection with you if they want to be a part of Women of Glimmer, if they want to join the Boss Woman Network, or if they just want to know how the hell can I do this because I'm exhausted right now? Give me some tips, mama. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So they can contact me on social media. I'm pretty much everywhere. Even if you Google my name, I'm only one person. So Aleitress Owens will pop up. Like that's crazy too. But then again, it's not, because the way they spell my name. So you will find me, I promise. And you can email me at Aleitress Owens LLC at gmail.com, or you can even call me at 903-219-0842. I'm here.
Well, y'all, I think you heard it here on Questions Unraveled. If you need help with whether it's empowering yourself or empowering others, or just being that mother who's trying to keep pushing, I implore you to not only reach out to Aleitress, but to leave room for yourself and to tell yourself the self that is yet to exist. Today,
Yes.
that is all for us on Questions Unraveled. I'm so grateful for Miss Aleitress and what she's brought to the table today. I hope it gives you guys something to chew on, and we will see you next Saturday.